If you want to see more in-depth stories like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and stay updated with our latest documentaries. But the landscape is changing, not by geological forces or the slow creep of seasons, but by a new and profound human phenomenon. Along the sun-bleached riverbeds and beneath the sprawling freeway overpasses, new settlements have appeared. These are not the planned communities of the suburbs, but encampments born of necessity, tents of brilliant blue, faded gray, and dirty white stand in clusters. They create a patchwork quilt against the dusty earth. These structures represent a fundamental shift in how this habitat is used and occupied. They are the visible signs of a population displaced, seeking shelter in the forgotten corners of the urban expanse. The people who live here move with a different rhythm. Their days are not dictated by the clocks and calendars of the city that surrounds them. Instead, they are governed by more elemental needs: the search for food, for water, for a safe place to rest. They are a tribe living apart, yet in plain sight. Their presence has altered the very feel of the city's open spaces. A public park, once a place for recreation, can become a territory of survival. The edge of a pristine beach, once a destination for tourists, can become a last resort for those with nowhere else to go. The city has become a mosaic of two different worlds, living side by side. The sounds of these places are muted and melancholic, the flap of a tarp in the wind, the distant rhythmic clang of a shopping cart being pushed over cracked pavement, the low murmur of voices, often too quiet to be understood, drifts through the air. These are the sounds of a community holding on. Their lives are lived in the open, exposed to the elements and the indifferent gaze of passers-by. The bright California sun, which once symbolized hope and opportunity, now beats down with an unforgiving intensity, making the search for shade a primary daily objective. The contrast between the city's opulence and this stark reality is profound. A gleaming new stadium, a monument to entertainment, may stand just a few hundred yards from a row of makeshift shelters. The aroma of gourmet food from a trendy restaurant can drift on the breeze, mingling with the scent of wood smoke from a small campfire. This juxtaposition creates a sense of unease, a feeling that the very fabric of this place is being stretched to its breaking point. The Golden Land is now home to a great invisible sorrow, a wound that lies open under the brilliant sun. Within this altered habitat, a strange and unsettling ballet is unfolding. On sidewalks and in public squares, individuals move as if in a trance. Their movements are slow, deliberate, and disconnected from the frantic pace of the city around them. They are often bent over, their bodies contorted into unnatural positions, as if pulled toward the ground by an invisible weight. This is not the weariness of a long day's work. It is something else entirely. A profound and pervasive lethargy that seems to have taken complete control of their physical being. Their journey is often without a clear destination. They take a few shuffling steps, then pause for long minutes, sometimes hours. They might stand motionless, staring at a patch of pavement, lost in a world no one else can see. Their posture is a language in itself. The fentanyl fold, as it has come to be known, is a common sight. A body bent at the waist, head hanging low, arms dangling lifelessly. They appear like statues, frozen moments of human despair scattered across the urban landscape. When they do move, It is with the slow, inexorable drift of a tide. The world seems to pass them by in a blur. Cars speed past, pedestrians weave around them, and the business of the city continues unabated. For these individuals, time itself appears to have slowed to a crawl. The urgent sounds of sirens, the chatter of crowds, the pulse of urban life, all seem to belong to a different dimension. They exist in a bubble of profound silence and stillness, even in the midst of chaos. Their faces are often blank, their eyes unfocused, reflecting nothing of the vibrant world just inches away. It is a lonely and isolating existence. This slow dance is a ritual of survival, but it is also a symptom of a deep and powerful affliction. The substance that holds them in its grip offers a temporary escape, but its price is their connection to the world. It robs them of their energy, their awareness, and their will. They become ghosts in their own lives, haunting the streets they once walked with purpose. Watching this slow, sad procession is like witnessing a silent film, a tragedy playing out in slow motion, without a script or a clear ending. Something new has been introduced into this delicate and struggling ecosystem. It is an unseen predator, but its effects are devastatingly visible. It arrived quietly, a whisper on the wind, a powder as fine as dust. Fentanyl, a substance of immense power, it has spread through these vulnerable communities with terrifying speed and efficiency. It preys on the desperate and the hopeless, offering a siren's call of relief that leads only to a deeper and more inescapable trap. Its presence can be felt everywhere, a dark shadow that has fallen over the golden land. The evidence of its hunt is scattered across the landscape. Small, burnt pieces of aluminum foil, glittering like discarded fish scales on the pavement. The bright orange caps of syringes like toxic berries, nestled in the grass of public parks. These are the modern-day fossils, the telltale signs of the predator's passage. They speak of a ritual that has become central to the lives of many. The act of consumption is a brief, desperate attempt to hold the world at bay, to numb the pain of a life lived on the margins. But the relief is fleeting, and the need is constant. This predator does not discriminate, but it is most successful among those who are already weakened. The homeless, the mentally ill, the forgotten, these are its primary targets. It exploits their isolation, their lack of resources, and their profound human need for an escape from suffering. The result is a slow-motion public health crisis, unfolding on the streets in plain view. Overdoses are a common occurrence, sudden and silent moments of crisis that often go unnoticed in the urban bustle. The blue and red flash of an ambulance is a frequent somber punctuation mark in the city's daily rhythm. The very air seems thick with a sense of suspense. Every slow-moving figure, every person slumped on a bench, carries with them a question. Are they simply resting, or are they in the grip of an overdose? This constant, low-level anxiety changes the nature of public space. It creates a barrier of fear and apprehension between people. The community, once defined by shared spaces, becomes fragmented. The predator has succeeded not only in capturing its victims, but also in isolating them, turning a shared human crisis into a collection of individual, private tragedies. Amidst this human struggle, other forms of life continue their timeless routines. A coyote, sleek and silent, trots along a deserted railway line at dusk. Its yellow eyes gleam in the fading light. It is a master of this urban wilderness, perfectly adapted to navigating the spaces between human worlds. It moves with a confidence and purpose that stands in stark contrast to the slow, shuffling gait of the human figures it passes. The coyote is a symbol of wild, untamed resilience, thriving in the very heart of the city's decay. Nature, it seems, is indifferent to our crises. Pigeons gather on the rooftops, their iridescent necks shimmering in the sun. They coo and flutter, their lives a simple cycle of foraging and roosting. Raccoons, their masked faces full of clever curiosity, emerge at night to raid dumpsters, their nimble paws making short work of our locks and lids. Even the smallest creatures persist. A line of ants marches with military precision across a discarded food wrapper, carrying their prize back to a hidden colony. These animals are not struggling, they are simply living. The juxtaposition is jarring. To see a hummingbird, a tiny jewel of emerald and ruby, hover over a flower growing from a crack in the sidewalk, just feet away from a person lost in a fentanyl-induced stupor. The bird is a whirlwind of motion, its wings a blur, its life force burning so brightly. The person is a study in stillness, their energy seemingly drained away. It is as if two separate realities are occupying the same space, each completely unaware of the other. Nature's relentless vitality serves as a poignant, silent commentary on the human lives that have been put on hold. This contrast highlights a profound truth. The struggle for survival is a universal theme, but its expression is vastly different. For the city's wildlife, survival is a matter of instinct, adaptation, and opportunity. For the forgotten people on the streets, it has become a complex battle against addiction, poverty, and despair. The animals move freely through the city, claiming it as their own. The humans, meanwhile, often seem trapped, their movements restricted, their world shrinking until it is no larger than the few square feet of pavement they occupy. Yet even in the deepest shadows, light finds a way to enter. The crisis has not extinguished the human spirit entirely. It has, in some ways, revealed its incredible resilience. A hand reaches out. A volunteer with a bright vest and a warm smile offers a bottle of water and a clean pair of socks. She speaks to a man sitting on the curb, not as a statistic, but as a person. She asks his name. For a moment, the fog in his eyes clears. He makes eye contact. A connection is made, a tiny spark in the overwhelming darkness. These moments are the first signs of a possible dawn. Hope often appears in the most unexpected forms. On a bleak strip of land beneath a roaring freeway, someone has planted a garden. A few tomato plants, a row of sunflowers, their bright yellow faces turned toward the sun. It is a small act of defiance against the ugliness and despair. It is a declaration that beauty still matters, that life is worth nurturing. A community has formed around this small patch of green. People work together, watering, weeding, and protecting their fragile crop. They are not just growing food, they are cultivating hope. The landscape itself can offer moments of grace. The end of the day brings the golden hour when the setting sun bathes the entire city in a warm, forgiving light. For a few precious minutes, the harsh edges are softened. The gray concrete glows like sandstone, the dirty tents appear as silken pavilions, and the ocean on the horizon turns to liquid gold. In this light, it is possible to see the beauty that still exists, to remember the promise that this land once held for so many. It is a reminder that even the longest, darkest night is eventually followed by the sunrise. This is a story without a simple ending. The predator still stalks the streets, and the forgotten are still walking in its shadow. But the fight is not over. Every act of kindness, every garden planted, every hand that reaches out to another is a victory. The future of this golden land is unwritten. It will be determined by these small, fragile moments of connection and compassion. The challenge is to see them, to nurture them, and to believe that even in the most broken of habitats, life in all its forms can find a way not just to survive, but to heal.